con los terroristas.
Do the Harlem Shake.
G'day guys, Johnny here and welcome back to my channel NintendoDownunder. Today's video we're going to do my top 10 favourite games. Now it's not necessarily going to be the top 10 best selling games or the top 10 games that generally people seem to like. This is just going to be my top 10 games that I've loved over the years. I'm sure plenty of you are going to disagree with it, but that's life, who cares? This is just my opinion. Here we go. And coming at number 10 on the N64, The World Is Not Enough.
The World Is Not Enough is a first-person shooter based on MGM's 1999 James Bond film, where the player assumes the role of James Bond through 14 missions with 3 difficulty settings. Mission objectives vary in quantity and length depending on the difficulty setting chosen. The player can use several weapons including pistols, submachine guns, assault rifles, a shotgun, a sniper rifle and a really cool rocket launcher. In addition to the single player missions, the game features a multiplayer mode where up to 4 players can compete against each other in different game types ranging from traditional deathmatch to objective based games such as Capture the Flag or King of the Hill. The World Is Not Enough received general positive reviews from critics who frequently compared it to Rare's other Nintendo 64 games GoldenEye 007 and Perfect Dark. It was also considered superior to its PlayStation counterpart because of its level design and the inclusion of a multiplayer mode which I spent countless hours playing with friends and myself against other bots. I'm sure this game wouldn't make many other people's top 10 lists, but I absolutely love it.
And coming at number 9, another N64 title, Destruction Derby 64.
Destruction Derby 64 is a fun smash-em-up racing game where the objective of the game is literally to smash other cars up in either a small arena or a destruction-timed race. Originally the game was developed by Studio Reflections Interactive, which began creating Destruction Derby for the PlayStation in late 1994 for a release date in 1995. The game was developed for the Nintendo in 1999 named Destruction Derby 64. The Nintendo 64 version features updated graphics and an increased number of cars and tracks, and it adds new modes such as Capture the Flag. The game contains 24 cars and more than 12 courses. It also supports split-screen multiplayer for up to 4 players. What I love about this game is that pretty much anyone who has never picked up a gaming controller before can play it. Some early memories of this game that I'll always remember was getting my nana to play with me. She had never played any type of video game before, but because the objective in some games is literally just to drive around in circles and bump into anything you see, suited someone of her gaming ability to a T. It's not the longest game in the world to play, and you can knock off the World Championship mode off pretty quickly, but it's a game you can constantly go back to for some light-hearted fun, and it's a great multiplayer platformer.
And coming in at number 8, a fairly new game, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Whoa.
The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. What a game. It's an action-adventure game developed and published by Nintendo, which is the 10th game in the main Legend of Zelda series. The game is played in an open-world environment. Players are given little instruction and can explore freely, which makes this game absolutely fantastic. Players explore the Kingdom of Hyrule while controlling Link, who can perform many actions such as running, climbing, swimming and gliding with a paraglider, although he is limited by his stamina. Unlike previous Zelda games where Link obtains key weapons of permanent use, the player produces items from the environment including weapons, bows and shields which break after excessive use, which sometimes can be frustrating but helps make the game the gem it is. Breath of the Wild was released to critically acclaim, with some calling the game a masterpiece and one of the greatest video games of all time. It was the highest rated game in 2017 and I just had to add it to my list of top 10 games. I can't wait to play this game from start to finish again in the near future. Wow, like I said, What a game.
Number 7, F-Zero-X.
F-Zero-X is a fast-paced, futuristic racing video game where 30 competitors race on high-altitude circuits inside plasma-powered hovercrafts in an intergalactic Grand Prix. Players can drift into turns, bump other vehicles into walls or off the track, and boost your vehicle up to and over 1,000 km per hour. The game also introduces 26 new vehicles and brings back the 4 from the original F-Zero game on the Super Nintendo. Each has its own performance abilities affected by its size and weight, grip control and boost power. F-Zero-X has 5 different gameplay modes which include Grand Prix Race, Practice, Time Attack, Death Race and Verse Battle. Critics generally praised F-Zero-X for its fast gameplay, abundance of courses, vehicles, track design and maintaining a high frame rate. However, the game has been widely criticised for its lack of graphical detail, but with an amazing fast-paced soundtrack and great replay value, this game will always hold a special place in my gaming heart as one of the best.
To number 6, Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Super Smash Bros. Melee. Melee is a crossover fighting game developed by HAL Laboratory and published by Nintendo for the GameCube. The game features up to 25 characters from Nintendo video game franchises such as Mario, The Legend of Zelda, Star Fox and Pokemon. Super Smash Bros. Melee differs from traditional fighting games as the objective is to force your opponents beyond the boundaries of the stage. Single player mode provides the player with a variety of side-scrolling fighting challenges. The main gaming modes range from the classic mode, which involves the player battling against opponents in multiple acts until he or she reaches the boss character, or the famous multiplayer mode where you can fight other enemy bots or other friends. The game sold more than 1 million units only 2 months after its release, making it the first GameCube title to reach 1 million copies. Super Smash Bros. Melee is a widely played competitive video game and has been featured in several high-profile tournaments. Many consider it to be the most competitively and best game in the series, and I totally agree. I personally poured countless hours into this game playing as Yoshi, and I love nothing more than swallowing an opponent and shitting them out as a Yoshi egg over the side of the map. Classic troll.
And coming in number 5, my favourite Mario Party 2.
Coming in my 5th game is my favourite out of the Party franchise, Mario Party 2. Mario Party 2 features 6 playable characters: Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, Yoshi, Wario and Donkey Kong. There are 65 mini-games in Mario Party 2. They are divided into 4 player 1, 1v3, 2v2 and battle games. There are also 6 item and duel mini-games as well as a special one that can be unlocked. Mario Party 2 also features several new spaces such as battle, item and bank spaces. Mario Party 2 was praised for its additions to the original game's foundation and generally considered a moderate improvement. The game is not massively different from the first, but for me it really improves on its mini-games and has much more replay value than the first without worrying about getting a hand shredded from some of the previous mini-games in number 1. That's right, Tug of War, I'm talking about you. Some of my personal favourite mini-games in number 2 include Bumper Balls, Shell Shock, Bowser's Big Blast, Day of the Races and Bomb and Barrage. When I have friends over and they want to play a Mario Party game, I definitely put this forward as my vote.
It's getting really juicy now. Number 4 on my list. That's right, Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo. Man, this game is awesome.
My number 4, which could easily been my number 1, was Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo. Donkey Kong Country is a platforming game in which the player guides characters Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong through 40 unique and fun side-scrolling levels. Levels contain enemies, bananas, and other objective and collectibles. Enemies can be defeated by stomping, rolling, barrel throwing, and by using an animal. Bonus rooms are hidden in almost every level, and they are accessed by destroying walls and entering the hidden barrel cannons. Bonus rooms contain challenges in which the player can earn additional lives, items, and sometimes gain shortcuts through the level. The game worlds in Donkey Kong Country are themed to resemble ecosystems, which include jungle, factory, underwater, mountains, treetops, caves, mines, and ruins. Donkey Kong Country sold more than 9 million copies worldwide, making it the 3rd best-selling on the Super Nintendo. It is considered one of the best video games of all time. I've lost count how many times I've played this game from start to finish. And as a little boy, I used to love teaming up with my older sister to try and find all the secret spots. It's just such a brilliant game.
That is right. Number 3 on my list, Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo.
Third up on my list is another Super Nintendo gem, the ever famous Super Mario World. Released in 1990, the story follows Mario's quest to save Princess Toadstool and Dinosaur Land from who else than Bowser and his children the Koopalings. As well as the running and jumping moves found in past games, the player can float with the aid of special items and execute new types of jumps, such as the spin jump, through 96 fun and challenging levels. The game introduces Yoshi, a favourite character of mine, as a dinosaur companion who Mario can ride and can eat most enemies. If Yoshi attempts to eat a Koopa or its shell, he can spit it out and fire at enemies. Although the main objective is to navigate through the 7 worlds to reach the end of the game, the player can beat the game much faster by using secret star road routes, which as a young fella I used many times, but as I got older and matured, I wanted to complete the game 100%. Nintendo has sold over 20 million copies of the game worldwide, making it the best-selling game on the Super Nintendo. Whenever I'm feeling in a retro mood, I make sure I plug this in and marvel at what an amazing game this still is today, considering it was created nearly 30 years ago.
I know what you're thinking right now. Surely he hasn't made a top 10 list without putting this game in. Of course, I have. At number 2, Mario Kart 64.
Coming in at a very close second is Mario Kart 64. I can't stress enough how much I love this game. Since its release in Australia in 1997, this game has made its way in and out of my Nintendo 64 console. Mario Kart 64 is a kart racing game in which the player controls one of 8 selectable Mario characters who race in karts in different racetracks that vary in shape and theme. There are 4 different game modes available in Mario Kart 64: Grand Prix, Time Trial, Versus, and Battle. Grand Prix mode supports both single player and competitive multiplayer gameplay, while other modes only support one or the other. Mario Kart 64 features characters such as Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, Toad, Yoshi, and Bowser, who all appear in Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo, while the remaining 2 characters, Wario and Donkey Kong, are new to the series, replacing Koopa Troopa and Donkey Kong Jr. from the Super Nintendo version. The game was intended to be a launch game for the Nintendo 64, but more resources were given to Super Mario 64's development. Mario Kart 64 received vastly different reviews, as critics were either blown away about the game or some labelled it as a major disappointment. Please. Regardless of some harsh critics, this game goes down as an absolute classic in my mind, and I know when me and my friends get together, this is the go-to game for plenty of laughter and banter.
And here it is, the moment you've all been waiting for, my number 1 game. But before we get there, I'm going to give a quick shout out to some games that just could not fit on my list. Where do I start? We've got Double Dragon, Super Mario Kart on the SNES, Ocarina of Time, Super Mario 64, Donkey Kong Country 2, Donkey Kong on the N64, Star Wars Rogue Squadron, Operation Windbag, Mario Golf on the N64, GoldenEye, Perfect Dark. We've got Double Dash, Luigi's Mansion, Super Mario Sunshine. My goodness, how did I not put that game in my top 10? Super Mario Galaxy number 1 and 2. Super Mario Odyssey for that matter. There are so many great games Nintendo has made, so many games I love to play, but I could not fit them all in. But of course there's one that stands above them all, my number 1, Banjo-Kazooie.
And coming in at number 1 is none other than the mind-blowing, amazing, stunning, shocking, fascinating and wonderful marvellous Banjo-Kazooie. Whoa, where to start? The game is split into 9 levels where the player must gather musical notes and jigsaw pieces called jiggies to progress. Players transit from one level to another through Gruntilda's lair, which acts as the game's central overworld. Banjo and Kazooie can perform a wide range of abilities such as jumping, climbing, swimming, flying and rolling into enemies. Most of these moves are learned by finding a friendly mole inside the worlds called bottles. Banjo and Kazooie are occasionally aided by their friend Mumbo Jumbo, who can use magical powers to transform Banjo and Kazooie into several creatures like a termite, a pumpkin, a bee, a walrus and a crocodile. In each level you face a number of challenges that involve solving puzzles, jumping over obstacles, gathering objects, and defeating different opponents. The game features elements of action-adventure games as players often have to speak with other characters in the game and then try and figure out a way to help them by completing a task or challenge.
Well, that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching my top 10 Nintendo games video. I'd love to hear your opinions though. I'm sure a lot of you would disagree with what I have to say, and that's fine. That's just my story I want to share. What's your story? I'd love to read your games down below. It doesn't have to be a top 10, it can be a top 5 or a couple of games that I missed or that you really love. But thanks for watching, guys. Please like,